Hey everybody, back at you again for another in the series for the Shemanese. As you saw in the intro videos, I talked about this being a fighting knife, and what I wanted to go over today are some grips as they relate to bushcrafting, as they relate to survival, and then we're going to be getting into some things as they relate to knife fighting. So with that said, here's a little background on myself for those that are not familiar with my background. So I've been studying martial arts now for, a little over 25 years. Most of that time has been spent in Japanese martial arts, Japanese Budo related martial arts, Judo and Aikido, and Iaido. So Iaido is Japanese swordsmanship. Aikido, if you're not familiar with it, has a whole lot of knife foundational techniques, although it's mostly an unarmed martial art. In the past few years, what I've also been doing as more directly related to self-defense, I've been doing Krav Maga, and even more recently, I took a hiatus from martial arts because I had wrecked my body. But now I'm getting back into doing some things so I can be more martially sound. I've been doing some BJJ as well as some Filipino combat systems. So the things that I'm going to show you are basically a hodgepodge of all of that as best that we can relate them with the Shemanese and how it would have been utilized by the frontiersman, which is the foundation of that as well. So let's get into these grips. So let's start from here where we've got the knife sitting on front, appendix carry, really not appendix carry, but left side carry, and we pull out normal. So when we pull out normal grip, there's two things that are actually a normal grip. There is this 45-degree cant grip, which is going to take advantage of the slope of the blade and the way I designed it. There's also going to be, if you hear some background noise, that's cedar walking around in the leaves. There's also knife pick grip, which is basically your hand is 90 degrees to the handle. And there's time for both, okay? Now, what we don't get into much is some of the other grips. And I want to make sure that we go over those as well. First off, the pinch grip. Pinch grip I use a lot, and I think you will want to use it a lot with this particular blade, which is just take your four fingers, place them on one side of the blade, not in front of the sharp side, thumb on the other side, so where you only have that portion of the blade that's up in front. This is where I'm going to dig holes. This is where one of the reasons I made this a drop point is so that I can actually drill a hole through a stick if I needed to do that, instead of have this big, huge sloping. I know that bushcraft blades, particularly like a Genesis, an LT Wright Genesis, or a Bush Lore by Condor, those are knives that are going to be, they're just too fat to make a hole, to drill a hole. This one is going to be able to do that. So the pinch grip is something where I'm going to be doing fine work right in front of me. Again, never towards my hand. Most of the time, my grip is going to be that cant in the normal grip, and then every once in a while there's going to be a 90-degree grip for fighting and stuff of that nature. However, there's a lot of grips that get missed a lot, and most of these came out of my Japanese martial arts background. So you always wore, in Japanese martial arts, you always wore your katana, wakizashi, or tanto, basically in the era that I studied, on the left side with the blade up, okay, meaning the sharp side up. So here's some things that come out of that. It doesn't matter if we've got it in there, blade side down or up. What I want to show you is, one, you pull out, hand comes down, pulls out, you've got that normal grip. If I come on the other side, on the body side, and pull out, I've got what's referred to as a reverse grip. Now on both of those, the sharp side of the blade is away from me. So it's basically this. Think of this, and then think of this. Both of those coming out of that same draw from here. Pull, and then second, hand coming on the body side and draw. Okay, there's a time for both of those. Now, the other things, there's two more that get missed all the time. You come all the way under, pull, now the sharp side is to me. All right, now there's very specific times where this is going to be used, and I'll utilize the camera lady to demonstrate that in just a minute. Not with the blade, but with the stick. Okay, but I've got that same grip, except now the sharp side is to me. So what do I want to do that? I want to put something between me and it. You'll see that in just a minute. And the other one is where I pull out, coming on the body side, And now again, I've got that cant grip, but I've got the sharp side to me as well. And again, you'll probably start to see I've got to put something between me and the sharp side of the blade. And what I'll do is I'll get Jennifer to help me demonstrate how we're going to utilize those. All right, so what I did is I've just got a stick of the same length of the knife just to give you an idea how this is going to work. That way we make sure we don't hurt Jennifer. Now, when we do the long hunters class, we're going to have some cutouts of this knife so we can utilize these for training. But think about it first. Any of these right here are going to be stabbing, anything where the blade is out front. The thing that gets people confused sometimes is when it gets to this reverse grip. So first off, imagine that this is reverse grip with the blade away. That's where these things come into play. That's where this evisceration happens. This is where carotids, if she strikes me, I protect myself, protect myself and cut again with reverse grip. The big question is what happens when we reverse it, have the reverse grip, and the sharp side is to me. Imagine, I don't want anything where it comes on me, so I've got to do something where she strikes, and I come in and put something between me and the blade. So right now the sharp side is against her neck. In Aikido, we take people and throw them that way. If she strikes, then again I cut my way through this. So no matter where the blade is, if she's striking me, I can cut my way through to get out of the mess. All right. Last but not least, this is a really odd one for people. Imagine I've got the blade again out in front of me, but I now have the sharp side to me. One really big purpose here, and that is to strike through the perineum, and that's a game stopper. That's a lot of history, particularly in Japanese martial arts, where that stopped people immediately and they died. There was no bleeding out, they were just deader than hammers, okay? There's a huge nerve bundle there. So also, these cuts right here, where I'm protecting myself, and again, cut my way out of the fight. Here, again, if I've got a blade and the sharp side is to me, she looks like she's having more fun than I am. She's getting cut all to shreds. If the sharp side is to me, I want to do something to put something between me and the sharp side, which is going to be her in my defense. Yep.
Done with me?
All right, everybody, so that is some ways to hold the blade. We looked at this one, rotate it this way. We looked at this one. We looked at this one, and we looked at this one, and we looked at the pinch grip. So most of those in this particular video is all about fighting with a knife to defend yourself. I'm a big fan of martial arts training. I think it teaches a lot of things, but don't kid yourself. If you're not studying something on how to defend yourself with a knife, then don't think that just boom, out of the box, you're going to be able to defend yourself with a Shemanese. You're just not. You need to study. We will do some of that in the class that we're going to do, which is a reminder for you all. Get into whenever the Long Hunter Rendezvous class is scheduled. It's free to anybody who bought this knife, okay? So one of the things I wanted to do to over-deliver. The code for that is Shemanese. I'm pretty sure it's all lowercase, yeah, all lowercase Shemanese. So use that code to sign up for the class. We're going to have a good time. Now, with that said, my recommendation for you, if you do want to learn knife fighting, is come to that, and maybe I can give you an introduction. But if you want to study something wherever you find yourself, then study Filipino combat systems. I don't think there's any better martial art in the world to learn how to defend yourself with a knife. It is very systematic, it's good, and it teaches redundancy, meaning it teaches you how to use a blade, use your hands, use a stick, and you do the same drills. And so you don't have to learn this for that, and this for that, and this for that. It's all the same. It's fantastic. So yeah, that's it. Doesn't matter if you've got a leather sheath and that's all you've got. No matter how you get this thing out of the sheath and get it in your hand, you're going to be able to utilize it. Even if you're under stress and you grab it and you pull it out and it ends up in your hand like this, then you've got a tool that you can utilize to defend yourself. Well, that said, hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, always just shoot me an email at info@naturalliance.org. Put them in the comments below, and we'll do everything we can to help you. Come on, join in. Let's learn together.